Howdy y'all, Goose here, and today is October 10th. So for me, today was, well, pretty boring actually. We had a huge move up across the board, NQ and ES, but I don't know how many people expected this move, especially coming after yesterday's big move. I essentially was looking for a retest before potentially getting into a move like this, but we never got a retest. The reason I thought that was over here we had a weekly key level on ES that we were pushing up against yesterday. So I did expect us to come up above today, which we did right out the open. And I was kind of just hoping for some type of pullback to retest that level and then get in long. And that would have been great to catch this type of move, on a retest. But there was no retest, so I just pretty much sat on my hands and watched the chart go, which wasn't that fun. Um, I fixated on ES. I say it's a good mistake because I didn't break a rule. I didn't uh, lose my, control of my emotions and do something dumb with risk management. Those, in my opinion, those are bad mistakes. Those lead to blown accounts. But the mistake I made today was fairly innocent and just fixating on this move. I really, really thought there'd be a retest here. I normally switch back and forth NQ and ES throughout the morning especially and look at what's going on. Well, I missed that NQ had already sort of taken a hold of a monthly level pretty early on the day. I want to say before, no, just shortly after the open. It did, and it did end up falling back and retesting. So that level right here would have been a pretty good entry for longs, just because monthly key levels are pretty high probability of success. The break over past the level, happened with nice displacement. I mean, decent displacement, I guess, not like major. But yeah, it could have been a potential trade right here. So I might have missed that, but even that wasn't really the most clear setup. But still, because ES had absolutely nothing, I mean, there was no sign of a pullback, and maybe I would have been more inclined to do it on NQ. But in any case, that was pretty much the morning. I mean, if you caught something out of the gate, let me know in the comments what you saw. But for me, I was just waiting for a pullback and ended up waiting a really long time. I supposedly Biden was talking towards the end of the day. I don't know exactly when the time lines up, but we did have this big drop here, which caught my attention. I had a break of structure area sitting, on NQ right here at 15,310. We pushed right through that and made new lows, started showing some strength. And if you look over on the left side, we're back at that same monthly key level. So I got a little excited and I thought, okay, finally I have my trade. Once I saw we're holding this level, we engulfed to the downside, and then what do you know? We engulfed back to the upside. I ended up I entered, well, very small here in the beginning, around 15,270. Then I added once I kept seeing more bullishness, but the rest of the day was just garbage. I mean, this is like, this was really boring to sit through. Pretty uneventful day unless you just happen to know right off the back we were gonna run up, but I don't know how many people did. At least looking at posts on X, FKA Twitter, I did see some groups catch a move up here, using like a break of the high strategy. These pre-market highs, essentially, which, like I said, that was sort of the best trade I think of the day. You can see it's really clear here on NQ. We had this pre-market high area, and look where we come back to retest, right? And I suppose this is a little bit below that monthly key level, but as soon as I would see, okay, here's a little bit of strength, showing a wick on this candle, and again, this candle isn't the most bearish. You could have gotten in somewhere, either after this candle formed or potentially after this wicked off of the pre-market highs. So again, resistance turns support, and maybe have a stop like just underneath the port down here. So that was sort of the only trade I think that existed. Yeah, you could have also had your stop underneath the opening print. I think that's maybe kind of confluences with the pre-market support area. So that's shoot, if you could have caught that, you had so much room you could have looked at. liquidity would have been, I mean, there's a pretty big gap here, so liquidity would have been quite a ways up. Again, I don't know. I didn't take the trade, so I'm not gonna try and walk through it. But there was a potential there right here to nail that entry. So I missed that. I fixated on ES. ES did not have a nice looking. I mean, you see pre-market highs are right here, and it just gassed right past it. There was no retest at all. So hope you guys had a good trading day. We have a big 3 days coming up. A lot of data. So as always, trade long, trade strong. I'll see you guys later.